Okay, be honest. Have you ever just wanted to vanish? Like, completely drop off the radar, step back from society, and secretly build a totally new, unrecognizable version of yourself? I know it sounds intense, maybe even a little crazy, but there is this undeniable magnetic power in exploring what actually happens when we step out of the spotlight. Welcome to today's Explainer. We are uncovering a fascinating roadmap on exactly how to disappear, transform, and then reemerge. If you've ever been curious about what happens when someone fully commits to their own evolution in absolute secret, well, let's explore this together.
All right, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, the power of disappearing, followed by mastering the art of silence, keeping your journey secret, the blueprint for total transformation, and finally, a major final plot twist. Starting with Section 1, the power of disappearing and cutting ties with the external world. You see, to really grasp the power of cutting ties, we first need to recognize this natural sociological phenomenon. Basically, the more you open your life up for public display, the more you inevitably invite people to drag you down. It's just human nature, right? When you live completely out in the open, every ambition, every goal, every failure is suddenly up for public debate. And that brings us to what's called ghost mode. This is the deliberate act of disappearing into the shadows. You intentionally become unavailable and commit entirely to building the next version of yourself in total secret. And the initial hook here? It's the exhilarating promise that when you finally do reappear, your massive transformation is going to absolutely shock the world. But to get to that epic reveal, you have to learn how to vanish properly first. Which brings us to Section 2, Mastering the Art of Silence, the first rules of vanishing.
The very first rule of vanishing the right way is brutally simple, but honestly, it's incredibly difficult. It's silence. Your mouth actually betrays you way more than you probably realize. We literally have this species survival instinct coded into our DNA to spill information and share our lives with the tribe. But on this journey, that instinct, it's actively holding you back. To fight that natural urge to overshare, we need a radical mental shift. The old mindset is obsessing over what others think of you. But the harsh truth you really need to accept here is that the crowd simply doesn't matter anymore. In fact, they really don't care about you as much as you think they do. Your belief that they care is what's dictating your actions. So you kind of have to cheat the system. You adopt a completely new mindset. You create a person in your mind, your ultimate ideal future self, and you obsess over what that person thinks of you. Would that future you be proud of what you did today? That is literally the only judge that matters now.
Moving on to Section 3, Keeping Your Journey Secret and Protecting the Progress. As you dive into this transformation, you are going to develop some incredibly ambitious plans. You're going to get hyped up, and the urge to share those plans with your friends, your family, or your coworkers is going to be overwhelming. But listen, you must treat your plans like they are the password to your bank account. You wouldn't just hand your PIN number to a stranger, right? So why hand out the blueprint of your future? And why is secrecy so absolutely vital? Because of a real mathematical penalty, 5%. Imagine that every single time a part of your plan leaks out, your chances of actually accomplishing it drop by exactly 5%. Every single time you speak openly just to satisfy someone else's curiosity, you are mathematically hurting yourself. You have to become surgically intentional. If you absolutely need advice from an expert, you go in, you reveal only the bare minimum required to get the knowledge you need, and then boom, you disappear again.
And hey, it's not just your plans you need to hide. It's the results and the struggles too. Do not show off your improved physique. Do not flaunt your increased wealth. Keep those new skills hidden. And crucially, this is a big one, hide the dark stuff too. The tears, the blood, the failures. Look, crushing it in the shadows is going to physically hurt and mentally fatigue you, no doubt about it. When you hit a wall, your instinct will be to complain to a friend or seek comfort. Instead, you've got to learn to absorb that on your own. Scream into the wind if you have to. Let the tears flow when no one is looking. You basically need to patch your own wounds with a first aid kit in the dark, and let that intense, silent pain quietly build your character.
All right, on to Section 4, the blueprint for total transformation, diving into the gritty reality of the shadows.
Okay, so you vanished. You're keeping quiet. You're pushing through the pain all by yourself. Now what? Well, this is the actionable phase where the actual grueling, isolated work takes place. This transformation requires extreme intentionality across 3 very specific steps. Step 1, pick your targets. You have to know exactly what it is you are building. Step 2, revolve your life around crushing it. You need the mentality that this is your one shot. Every breath must be dedicated to this goal. And step 3, reprogram your mind. Let's break down what this actually looks like in practice.
Let's say your specific target is to get absolutely jacked and totally unrecognizable. An obsessive action isn't just buying a gym membership. No, it's literally moving your apartment to be closer to that gym so absolutely nothing stands in your way. Or if your target is to master a new skill for a business, you relentlessly time box your day so specific hours are dedicated strictly to that transformation. You dedicate whole days just to reviewing your plan, tracking your progress, and breaking those massive goals down into bite-sized pieces. Every waking hour is planned out. Every single action is intensely intentional.
And doing all of this, it leads to a massive psychological shift. Eventually, you realize that happiness is just crushing it in the shadows. Now, at first, not being seen is going to feel incredibly strange. But eventually, you learn to genuinely enjoy the weird isolation of this disappearing act. You fully embrace it. This reprogramming of your mind, finding profound joy in the hidden grind rather than public applause, is honestly a vital part of the positive transformation itself.
Which perfectly sets up Section 5, the final plot twist, re-emerging from the dark.
Okay, you've done the work, you've bled in secret, you've transformed completely beyond recognition, and so the ultimate question we've been building up to remains: how do you successfully reappear and shock the world? How do you organize that grand reveal to show absolutely everyone the incredible beast you've become?
Well, you don't. Literally, you just don't. That is the stark, absolutely beautiful truth of this entire process. If you do this right, if you truly transform yourself in the shadows, something fascinating happens along the way. You realize you simply don't care to reappear anymore. The desire for external validation, that driving need to shock the world, it completely vanishes.
This paradigm shift is profound. As the source material beautifully notes, you'll have now become one with the shadow, and you'll find that you found a calming peace. Your life will have transformed far beyond your initial expectations. You won't need society's applause anymore, because you will have built a new life that you enjoy way more than the one you left behind. You'll just keep pushing toward bigger, better goals, remaining a total mystery to most, perfectly content in the calming peace of your own continuous evolution.
And that leaves us with one final essential question for you to consider today. Are you ready to cut the strings, step into the shadows, and find out who you truly are when absolutely no one is watching? The blueprint is out there. It's tough, it's isolated for sure, but the peace and the power waiting for you on the other side might just be the absolute greatest reward of your life. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll see you in the shadows.